News because they're all black men recently shot and killed by police officers here and in other parts of the country.
Tonight, Congressman Hank Johnson tells Fox 5 that he's had enough. He says it's a deadly trend that must come to an end, and he's throwing his support and substantial political clout behind a Smyrna family who lost a son to a police shooting. Nick Thomas was killed by officers trying to arrest him on probation violations, but what makes Thomas's case different is that he had a history of violence, particularly with police officers. Fox 5's Portia Bruner joining us now with this story.
And Portia, tonight, the congressman not apologizing for anything.
That is correct. He is not backing down from any of his comments. Congressman Hank Johnson raised more than a few eyebrows as he described his outrage over fatal police-involved shootings Monday at the Capitol. Those comments led to an invitation to speak at a funeral tomorrow for Nick Thomas, nearly a month after Thomas was fatally shot by a Smyrna police officer.
It feels like open season on black men in America, and I'm outraged.
Congressman Hank Johnson says when he made that comment in Washington Monday, he was angry about the image of Walter Scott running from the South Carolina police officer who shot him dead Easter weekend. He says he was also frustrated with fellow lawmakers who would not support his bills on criminal justice reform.
In fact, all Americans are at risk when bad actors in law enforcement use their guns instead of their heads.
Friday at his 4th District office in Lithonia, Johnson told me the invitation to speak at the funeral for Nicholas Thomas came less than a day after he made those remarks. He accepted without hesitation.
I want them to know that I feel their pain, that I believe that they have questions that should be answered.
Investigators say Smyrna police officer Kenneth Owens shot Thomas at this tire shop in March as Thomas allegedly drove towards another officer there to serve Thomas with a warrant. Authorities say Thomas used a car to charge a Kennesaw state officer a couple of years ago. And Johnson says he doesn't condone Thomas's previous crimes, but still questions how Smyrna officers tried to arrest the 23-year-old.
They should have not tried to apprehend him while he was in a motor vehicle. I mean, if you know that he's got a history of that, why not wait? You're at his job. Why not wait until he gets out of the vehicle and then announce your presence?
Johnson says his open season remarks reflect the sentiments of many in the black community, but recognizes some police officers could find his words offensive.
I really sincerely hate that I have to cross swords with law enforcement because it makes it appear that I'm trying to paint all law enforcement with one broad brushstroke, and I'm not.
But that's a pretty strong statement on the House floor.
Well,
you can understand why people feel that way.
And I can, but if law enforcement has a problem, if there's a problem that exists within law enforcement, then I would be remiss as a congressman to not take note of it and to try to correct it.
Representative Johnson says he hopes people will get beyond his open season comments and have a broader conversation about how police and the communities they serve can improve what he believes is a deteriorating relationship.
All right, so he's going to go ahead and speak at this funeral. Any indication of what he's going to say? Did he talk about that?
I asked him that question. He says he's still working on exactly what he wants to say and the message he wants to convey. Obviously wants to convey a sense of sympathy for the parents, for the Thomas parents, without, and taking a very honest look at how we got to this situation, but really looking at the bigger issue and the other issues here at play in all of these police shootings across the country, and really how we move forward as a nation.
All right. We'll be there and have a full report tomorrow. Thank you, Portia.